Well, I don't even know what I'm going to title this video, but I guess I'll worry about that when I'm done with it and put it on YouTube. I guess we might put advice your grandpa might give you. No, I don't want to. I am not grandpa material. No, we're not doing that. Now, somebody in the comments is going to start calling me grandpa. Ain't having it. We got coffee this morning. Doing a foggy, nippy morning video. Well, there's an old term people have used for years. They want to achieve the American dream. What is the American dream? Well, and is it even obtainable anymore? Well, that's something that everybody has to decide for themselves. There is no, you can't look that up in the dictionary. You might get a generalized description of what that is. It just depends on what you want. I think the big problem today is people expect too much. They hear the term, the American dream, and they're thinking of a big 4-bedroom house in a neighborhood with 2 brand new cars in the driveway and perfect jobs, bunch of kids. To them, that's the American dream. To me, that's the American nightmare. I don't want that. Never did. Never did. This is my American dream. Lumber laying all over the place from yesterday's construction. It's almost done. That's the American dream to me. Doing stuff with my own hands. Using my own brain. Not having people come and do the work for me. That's the American dream. And that's how this country was built. The biggest problem is people dream too big, I think. They dream too big, and you have to start small if you want to achieve any sort of dream. You have to start small. I never thought I would be sitting in the middle of Arkansas in the woods working on some house, at age 59. I know that guy in the YouTube comments, he's there. He's going to say, you've been 59 for 3 years, dude. I'm actually 47, guys. I know, I've been lying to you. Yeah, if you believe that. But anyway, I got here 12 years ago, September 20th, 2012. Yep. And soon after that, I bought a fifth wheel and parked it at my friend's house for a little bit over a year. I didn't know if I was staying here or not. And I remember one evening, I was laying in the bed. We had a storm, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Did I want to stay here? Did I want to stay in the printing trade and go somewhere else? Because that was still an option at the time, although the trade's dying. And pretty much now I know I made the right decision, because if I would have took that route, I'd probably be stranded somewhere, and who knows where I'd be. But I tried to picture owning something like this. I didn't want nothing fancy. I wanted something I could fix up myself that I could get cheaply. And I found that property. But as I was laying there in that bed, I tried to picture in my mind what it might look like. I didn't want too much land, because when you get too much land, that's too much work. And I don't need too much land. I got no interest in raising livestock, and that would be the only reason I would need a whole bunch of land, or having a whole bunch of buildings, which I'm starting to get a collection of those. But I envisioned myself pulling in this is the weird part. I envisioned myself pulling in the driveway. I just shut my eyes, and I seen a big tree right at the end of the driveway, and the driveway kind of came uphill and curved. And the second place that I looked at when I was looking for property had that tree, had that driveway curving uphill, and that was this place. And it just worked out that I ended up owning this place. And I've been working on it ever since. I don't think the American dream so much is a house, cars, all these things. I think it's the act of doing it. That you can buy a place and fix it up with your own hands. I think it doesn't matter if it ever gets finished. You're already living the American dream. Or if you're in the UK or any other country you're watching from, it could be that type of dream. Okay, the UK dream, the Scottish dream, whatever dream, wherever you're at, the African dream. I don't know. I got people watching from all over the world. The American dream is just being satisfied. Okay, not living under stress. When you buy a home, 4-bedroom home with a huge mortgage and 2 new cars, you got 2 car payments and you got credit card debt. That isn't the American dream. That's the American nightmare, because you're living in debt. You are obligated to companies. You are obligated to people. And those people, if one thing happens in your life where you can't work or something goes wrong, those people will take your American dream away from you. People aim too high. They aim too high. They think, I got to have all this stuff. This is great. And then when something happens and they lose everything they got, it's going to take them a decade or more to get out of that mess. So there's nothing wrong with buying something like I did that's totally run down. Find you a way to make a small, even if you have to live in that house, focus on one room in that house, get that thing clean and nice and sleep in there, survive in there, work on the rest of it. Start small. Start small. Nowadays you can buy tiny homes, you can buy these sheds and convert them fairly easy. I did that with this one behind me. It's a shop, but if I wanted to live in that, if something happened to this house, I could easily, by tomorrow, be sleeping in that and comfortable because it's insulated. It's, doesn't have electric wired, but I've got all these solar generators. I could do it. And I would be, I wouldn't be totally upset about that. Because I know that I've lived that way before and I can do it again. And to me, it's kind of exciting. You're going to find you do something like that versus go through all that crap trying to buy a house and get this house. You don't own that thing. You're never going to own it. And people will say, well, you have taxes. You don't own it. My taxes are like, on this property, I got the homesteading credit. There's no taxes. The only taxes I have is personal property taxes that we have in Arkansas. That's it, which is the highest I've ever paid is $150. I think I paid $102 last year. That's it. Man, I could go pick up aluminum cans for a week and earn that. So yes, I own it in theory, but when I die, I no longer own it, right? You cannot really actually own a piece of the earth. It's always been here. It's always going to be here. It's just you occupy it. But you legally occupy it and nobody can take money from you. That's the American dream, being debt-free. I have 2 credit cards. I use them every month. I get gasoline for my vehicles and then I pay the balance off every month. I do that because I get cash back. Okay, that's the only thing I use my credit cards for. But if an emergency were to happen, I would have that. And it would take a big emergency for me to have to use those. Now, I did make the mistake a couple of years ago of using that to renovate the kitchen. And it took me a while to pay that back, but I did. But I won't do that again. I have built my credit to where it's very, very good. So I might need that one day for something. You never know where life's going to take you. So there's nothing wrong. A lot of people will argue, oh, I don't ever get credit cards in this. There is nothing wrong with building your credit up and not having any debt. But you have the credit. If emergency happens or, you never know what life's going to bring you. It's good to know that you have something you can turn to where you're not destitute. Fortunately, fortunately, I hope I never have to use any of that, but it's there if I need to. And there's nothing wrong with building your credit up. Those are just smart things to do. No, I am not going to sell this place and go buy no big fancy place. I'm probably never going to sell this place. I'll probably die here. And there'll be a third ghost. Because I'm going to haunt the hell out of it. I got a lot of blood and sweat and equity in this place. You know, well, I'm going to be up here in this loft going, ooh. So if you're interested in this place after I kick the bucket, it'll probably go cheap. I'm going to make sure it goes cheap. And I hope I like you. Ain't had a good coffee slurp in a while. So you should teach your children not to expect a easy ride in life. That's the problem. Everybody wants an easy ride in life. And you learn nothing when you get an easy ride. You learn nothing. You learn nothing about responsibility. You learn nothing about hard work. Hard work and responsibility, responsibility is earned. It's something you have to try to achieve. We are not born responsible. We poop our pants right after we're born, right? That's not responsible. I don't know what that had to do with it, but I thought that would be cool to add in there. But people just have too high of expectations. I think a lot of that is taught in the schools. Because, 150 years ago, their expectations were a whole lot different than what ours are. They just wanted a house. They wanted some land to farm. They wanted to have a family. And that was about that was about it for their expectations. They didn't want to, they didn't know what being a millionaire was. Was there greed and everything? Yes. I mean, you remember the gold rush days. Yes, people would flock to a certain area where they found gold. Yes, there was greed. There's always been greed in mankind. There always will be. And you have to distance yourself from people like that and that kind of living. And cities promote that. You even see that in places like where I live. You have to have an awareness of what type of people you're around, and are they good for you? Anyone you meet, you can size them up pretty quick. As long as you have a little bit of time with somebody, you can size people up fairly quick. And you got to ask yourself, are these people going to be good? Are they going to be toxic in my life? And if they are, get rid of them. I just try to be happy every day. That's all you can do. And I got out here and I'm working on this deck and I've got it all finished. I'm ready to move inside. I'll start filming that and putting that on the new channel next couple of weeks. Now, I do got some dental work coming up, so I don't know how that's going to be. I may do some videos in advance so I don't miss any. But I do a video daily, so there may be a few days I don't do a video. We'll see. I got to see how much I can tolerate it, how much pain I'm going to be in. I don't know when that's going to be yet. I'll find out today. But I'm not going to harp about it when it gets done. We're just going to resume the videos, and that's it. But that is coming up soon, so there could be a break in my videos. But anyway, if you're looking to achieve the American dream, take a look at what your American dream is. Is it realistic? Is it achievable? If you start small, things happen in life when you start small. They just do. You can only go up, okay? If you start at the bottom, you can only go up. Or you just stay at the bottom and slowly rise. But you will rise if you put your heart into it and try. And a lot of people, they want the big mansion right away, and that's not how life works. And even if you were to get that right away, you couldn't enjoy it because you really didn't work for it. Okay? If you have a big load, you hit the lottery, $1 million, you go out and buy a big piece of property, you're not going to feel as good about that as if you built it. If you worked on it, if you renovated it, that is what makes you feel better. That's what makes you happier. It's just a good way to be. So, well, I guess I'm going to stay out here and make the other video for my other channel, The Dog Man. I'll be putting that up soon after. Morning videos today. I've got things to do. So, I want to thank you guys all for watching. I'm going to try to do some stuff for the members soon. So, I got memberships. I don't ever push that. I don't ever push to subscribe. I don't ever ask anybody for money, but the memberships are there. And I have enough now. I think I got 30 members. That's without asking, you know. But it's there if y'all want it. I got them as cheap as I can get them. And I think I'm going to start doing maybe early release. I don't know that that's even good. That pisses me off when I see somebody do that. Members only. You know, and I got to wait 2 hours to watch the video. But I might come up with some extra content, especially when I get the new channel going. There'll be some more on that. But I got to start doing something for you guys because I haven't done anything with that. I just haven't had time. It's, you know, doing 2 channels, video a day on each channel, and then dealing with life takes a big chunk of my day. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy trails.